Hello guys, so today we're going to do something a little bit special. This computer right here has been with me, this was my very first computer build back in 2008, and this has been holding up for the last 10 years. Now it's been a little bit slow, it is pretty much outdated, but it's still pushing. This thing has an AMD Phenom II 965 Black Edition with the Corsair water cooling all-in-one kit right there. You can see right there. Have never failed me, have never leaked. And the RAM, I believe this thing is pushing 8 GB, along with the XFX 6890 card right there. A monster for its time. And I believe the power supply is a Roswell 600 watt power supply. And I'm pushing the SSD with a hard drive combination. All this is contained within the Antec 1200. I think this is the version 2 or 3. I can't remember exactly, but this thing probably ran around $800-900 back then, and this was probably one of the top of the line AMD can probably get for the money. Best bang for the buck is right here in front of you. So now, fast forward 10 years, it's gonna get retired. So we're gonna shrink this down to a micro ATX case. Basically, I'm just switching out the CPU and putting it into another typical HP case, because it's more compact. I really don't need this kind of a case anymore. So we're gonna mix things around a little bit, and hopefully it can last another 10 years. I'm going to show you guys where most of these parts are going into. Basically, all I'm throwing in is the switching out is the AMD Phenom II with a AMD Athlon X2 or X4 in my other rig, but the Athlon just can't keep up with the Google browser and Firefox. It just basically, it gets bottlenecked the CPU. It's hitting around 80% just to run the browser, which isn't ideal. So we need the Phenom in there, and hopefully it can do its job. So hopefully the Windows activation key holds in place. Typically when you do a major hardware change just like this, usually the key would not activate. So hopefully that won't be an issue. So this right here is a old HP tower that I love. This case is probably one of HP best design. Here, this is the media center, and I'm just in love with this case just because it's so versatile. You know, USB ports. And this used to be in an add-on bay for the hard drive. And then the media cards. I mean, half of this price doesn't even work as far as USB 3.0, and some of these right here, it's probably not fast enough to read the newer cards. But still, very sleek, simple design. I love it. So right here, this is going to be the new home for the Phenom II 965 Black Edition. So that's freaking painless. Now let's take apart the HP, because we have to change the bracket mount for the CPU holder, which is that right there. That's from the Zalman, so we gotta switch that out. I was hoping not to take this whole thing apart, but I forgot about the mount in the back. Okay, let's begin. So at this point, we got the most, I would say, the hardest part of any build is wire management. I got the power supply in, transfer it over. Surprisingly, there's enough space behind the back panel on this to run the wires behind and hide it. Of course, there's a batter wound. So now I'm gonna figure out how to install the fan. And before that, got to clean up all these thermal pastes from the previous build. I'm using Arctic aluminum, premium ceramic polysynthetic thermal compound. Now this is 7 years old, so hopefully and I'm out. Nope. So right here, I'm using double-sided tape. The rated weight for it is 20 pounds. This thing is nowhere near 20 pounds, so I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not gonna use this, but I am gonna leave it in here just in case if I ever need it. So this is the final product. Doesn't look too bad, does it? So I'm gonna start this up. Once the Windows 10 recognize the hardware, the CPU, then I'm gonna change the RAM. I don't want to change too much to the motherboard. Then it might not recognize the computer and it might not activate. We finally got everything running. I'm installing Fortnite right now to see what's the frame rate I'm getting for this whole build. One thing I've noticed is that it's really warm in here. This graphics card's really heating up. But luckily there's an exhaust fan right here, so it's gonna go through here and pass. So that's the only thing that's heating up is the graphics card. I really wish there was a third CPU fan on this motherboard, but there's only two. One for the CPU and one for the exhaust. That's it. There's no third CPU fan. If there were, I would probably put one up front for it to help cool the unit a little bit, but that's not the case. So yeah, I will go more in depth with the build once I get everything settled in. For now, I just want to show the internals. Yeah, you know, it fits for sure. So yeah, this is a 10-inch card right here, and it fits in here just fine without any modification. This is double-sided tape, so it's solid. External hard drive, I mean the internal hard drive up here, and then the DVD-ROM, the power supply is also carried over, but I am getting a power surge from my motherboard, so I'm wondering if this power supply is strong enough for this graphics card or not. I mean, these two have been running together for the last 10 years, so strange that the motherboard is actually flagging that. This is a 550, and I'm not sure what's the requirement for that graphics card. Strange. Alright, so I just finished installing the game, and I guess went past the recommended settings, and let's launch the game and see what's the frame rate we get on this setup. What? Let's see. Right there, frame rate. Yeah, it's low. You can see that glitch right there. Alright, so it looks like at 20 frames on high setting might not do it. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. With better cooling, it might do well at 30 frames per second. But let me drop the current settings and see if I can get a better frame rate. Let's do medium. So dropping it to medium, I get another 10 frames per second. Honestly, it's not too bad. I'll say this is doable. The system can probably last another 5 years, no issues, no problems. So AMD and the 6870 Radeon from AMD XFX, I'm sorry, is still viable today in 2019. For, of course, games like this, I wouldn't throw tier 1 titles at it for sure, but Fortnite definitely it works if you're on a cheap budget. 6870 probably go for like $40. AMD Phenom CPU or what, around $60. So if you're on a tight budget, definitely go for the Phenom or higher if games entice you. But that'll be it for this